Hey everyone. Right. Obviously, I've been watching this Johnny and Amber trial again, and I just want to talk about mental abuse, what it does to somebody when you're being mentally abused, physically abused as well, because it all incorporates into the abuse and the reaction that the abused respond with. You notice that Johnny smashing things up and basically losing the plot. Now, this is what happens in a narcissistic relationship, a toxic relationship. The abuser, they'll listen to all your stories, every single detail, and they'll use it against you. All your personal fears, experiences, they take it all on board and they use it as a manipulation tool. Your deepest, darkest secrets, you tell that to your loved one, you open up to them because you want them to understand you as much as you think that you understand them. They use it, they twist it for their own advantage. Especially in the public eye, they'll go and tell their friends, their family, your friends, your family, that you're this, that and the other. Exposing your secrets to keep you manipulated, to keep you under the thumb. Now, the progression with me through experiencing domestic violence, domestic abuse, especially on the mental side of things, you deteriorate. You're trying your hardest to do what's right. You try every single scenario to make things right, and nothing works. It's not going to work. It's just part of the trap that you're in, the toxic cycle. You're in such a confusion because you don't know what you've done wrong, even though everything that you do is wrong. Even the good stuff is wrong. And all the bad stuff gets chucked in your face over and over again, constantly. Old things that you think have been resolved get dragged straight back up, It's just a tool to trigger you. And when you've got mental illness, the triggers, if you don't know what they are, they can be all sorts. Self-harm, suicide, rage, all sorts of things, just to try and cope. But it's not coping, obviously. It's a deterioration of yourself, your brain. You get lost, you get trapped. You're in a prison in your own head. It's horrible, it really is. But this is what toxic people do. They use it against you. For their own benefit, for their own gain, so they can keep you a prisoner, keep you trapped in that little cycle of trying to work out what's going on. If you don't know what is going on, it can take years to get out of a situation like that. It took me years to get out of a situation like that. Very much so. I was with my ex-husband for 10 years. And I've been in relationships that I shouldn't have been in relationships for longer. Just simply because I've opened up too much to my partner or ex-partner, and they've used their tricks to manipulate me and got me trapped in that cycle again. And there's me thinking it was my problem, my fault, everything was my fault. And that's how they make you believe that it is. And they make everybody else think that that's what it is as well, that you're the problem and it's not them, and where it's the other way around. And I can see that happening, that's been happening through Johnny's relationship with Amber. She twists everything to make out that he's the one that's doing it to her, that she's lived this horrible life, when it's not. She's taken on Johnny's story, taken on everything that he's told her and made it her own story. And I know a few people that have done that. My mum does that. Some people who I don't consider friends anymore have done that. I see friends that I know now in relationships where their partners are doing exactly the same. And unfortunately, you can try and tell these people until you're blue in the face, like, you know, you can point these things out, but until they sit down and realise and recognise it, they're not going to see it. They see you as interfering, jealous, or, you know, trying to split them up, but it's not the case. Being an empath, you want to help everybody. I'm one of these people, if I see somebody that's in pain, or, you know, and I can help them, then I will. Unfortunately, when it comes to relationships and mental manipulation, it's very hard for somebody to actually accept that, because then they've got to accept a hell of a lot of things about their life and themselves, and accept things about somebody that they love to death. You know, it's hard, it really is, to tell people about this, and also for people that it's happening to, for them to just accept it, that's what's going on, that's who their partner is, this person that they've had kids with. I mean, I was the same with my ex-husband. Had a child with him, Dion, well, Jade. She changed the name from Dion to Jade. I mean, because that's what I wanted to call her in the first place, but my ex-husband wouldn't agree to that name, because he already had an ex-stepdaughter that was called Jade, so fair enough, you know. I understood his reasoning for that, so yeah, we chose Dion, but yeah, she doesn't like that name, basically because he chose it. I mean, she's got her issues with her dad. He doesn't really care about her. She knows this. She's found this out over the years. But yeah, even with Jade, I tried not to make out her dad to be bad when we were split up. She asked questions and things like that, but I play it down. I always said to her that she's to make her own decision up about her dad, and she did. He did that all by himself, like for his own actions, or lack of actions, should I say. He made out that he was a doting father and all that, but no, it was the complete opposite. And it took her a long time to realise this. And it's quite hurtful to start with, because, you know, when me and her dad first split up, and I'd moved to St Helens to escape everything, to escape his abuse, and I couldn't take her with me. He wouldn't let me. We had joint custody at the time. We'd got back together at the time, even though he was still seeing his ex-girlfriend. So he beat me up, and I had to escape from Torquay up to St Helens, and I had a lot of friends that helped me up along the way. They come and rescued me. It was brilliant people. They saw everything that was going on online through my webcam, and yeah, they come and helped me. But I had to fight through the courts to get her back. Now she come up to St Helens for 6 weeks school holidays and told me a lot of things that was going on with the dad. And I couldn't let her go back. He tried to fight me through the courts, and then the night before all this was supposed to go into court again, he messaged me, "You've got what you wanted. I don't want to see my daughter ever again." Or sorry, "I don't want to see your Dion ever again." So fair enough, you know, but I couldn't tell her that, you know. And through the years, there's been attempts to make contact with him. I've had no child maintenance off him. He still owes me £4,000 from the divorce settlement back in 2005, 2006, whatever it was. So, you know, that's just the person he is. But yeah, it took her at least till 13, 14 maybe to realise who he was, and that I wasn't there to take her away from her dad, which she used to say when she was little. "You took me away from my dad," you know. It's heartbreaking, and in a way, yeah, I did, but it was for the right reasons, you know. It was to protect her, but she understands all this now. She's grown up. She's just turned 23 on the 13th of May. I love her to bits. She's my little girl. No matter what age, she'll be my little girl. But yeah, she understands all this now. She's seen the manipulation through my relationships with certain people, family, friends, and even partners. And thank fuck she's actually taken on board how to recognise toxic people. I mean, she's had toxic boyfriends, and I can see the deterioration in her mental health. And it's horrible to watch, you know. You try to advise as a mum or as a parent, and most kids think you're lecturing them, and it's never been the case. I've always helped or tried to do both sides of a story for Jade when I've been growing up, you know. Sit and talk to her when she's done something wrong, and give her, if she went down this road, this is what happened, and if she went down that road, that's what happened, and give her the choice. You know, I mean, I can't say that she's always made the right choice, but she's learnt her lessons, and that's the whole thing. You know, you have to let your children learn their lessons by themselves. You know, you point them in the directions, and tell them what the outcome's going to be for each one, and let them make that choice. Yeah, and she's making the right choices now. It's good. I mean, she's met this wonderful lad, and I can see an instant change in her mental state, even just by the way she is around the house and things like that. More of a self. Jade I've not seen for a long time. It's lovely to see. So Andy, thank you very much for doing that for Jade. Yeah, I'm made up that she's found somebody that's decent, that's going to love her, and not be a toxic twat like she has in the past, or like she's had in the past. I can see a bright future. I really can for the pair of them, and it's brilliant. But yeah, it just goes to show the deterioration of somebody in your head all the time. It can cause all sorts, and ultimately it can cause somebody to take their own life. This is why I'm so passionate about exposing toxic behaviour, because it's just going to save so many people's lives, males and females, my friends, strangers, even family members. You know, it's everybody. It's all across the world. It's in society, going from the top. The world leaders, the big CEOs, all these companies, you know, they've all got toxic people manipulating the rest of us, and it's the rest of us that suffer. We're the ones that's being abused through the system, and the more people that realise this, the better. The better this world will get. It'll be something completely different, you know. Human evolution will go to the next level. We seem to be going backwards. Society seems to want to keep us in that we have to work till we die. You know, we have to earn this, we have to earn that, we've got to pay for this, we've got to pay for that, and everything, the price rises, so we have to work harder and harder and harder, and we get taxed more and more and more. When's it going to stop, you know? When we all die? Well, no, because they need us for bringing in their income, you know? But it's the same thing with putting people in boxes, you know, all these genders, all these mental illnesses, you know, everybody's put in boxes. Divide and conquer, you know, that's what the Romans did. And then we have the psychological warfare, where we, you know, people at my level on benefits, we get told we're a drain on society. The vulnerable get told that they're a drain on society, you know, and it puts divide into society. Racism, you know, sexism, you know, it's all sorts through every aspect. And it keeps us fighting between ourselves, and we don't start asking questions. It's the same with all the COVID, you know. My theory is the government didn't want people to know about it, or downplayed the severity of it. Basically, just so the elderly, the vulnerable, you know, the ill, all these people that are on benefits, that are a drain, as they put it, on society, even though they're vulnerable, they need the help. It's just so they wipe them off, kill them off. How many people now that have died over these last 2 years from COVID were on the benefit system? How many billions of pounds now has gone back into governments or the pharmaceutical companies? How many billions has gone back into that, you know? They could have done a hell of a lot more to stop so many more people dying, and they didn't. And it's purely money, you know, it's greed. They don't care about people. If they did, they would have done a hell of a lot more, and they would be doing a hell of a lot more now. Just so people are able to fend for themselves as well, you know. You know, how many kids know how to go and grow some vegetables, you know? I was lucky, I was born in the era where there wasn't social media and things like that, and you were put into youth training schemes to learn all sorts of things, you know. I learnt welding, engineering, you know. I'm a qualified welder. I've got my MVQ level 2 welding, but I couldn't get into a job because I was a woman. I've been turned down a few times because basically I'm a woman, I can get pregnant and fuck off. That's what I got told. That's why I couldn't get a job in welding. You know, that's the way it is. It disheartens you to move forward. You feel like there's something wrong. You feel like you're not good enough. Even though I've got certificates there to say that I am, and just because I'm a woman and get pregnant, you know, doesn't, at that age I was at what, 18, 17, 18, it was the last thing I wanted. I didn't want to get pregnant at that age, you know. I wanted a career, but they never gave me that chance. But yeah, we all get put into boxes, and we're all mentally abused by the governments and world leaders. Once people actually start realising this, then this world's going to be a hell of a lot better place, you know. There's going to be equality for everyone. You know, everybody's going to be equal, men and women, you know, races, elderly and young, you know. We need to do something. This planet is just horrible. It's being controlled by toxic people, and it needs to stop. So, well, thank you very much, everybody, for all your comments and support and everything. It's amazing. It's nice to know that people see my views and see that I'm a genuine person. I'm not out to make my fortune. It'd be nice, like, you know, and everybody likes money, especially this day and age. The more money you got, the better. But no, I'm not. I don't. My world doesn't revolve around money. You know, I've lived a poor life. I've had to make do with what I've had. Yeah, I've had some inheritances, but at the time I blew it. I was 18 at the time. Completely blew it. But I never had any money skills or anything like that. Nobody taught me about money skills, but I wasn't really given much as a child anyway, so it was all spend it, but also on my friends, you know. I thought I needed to spend it on them to make them like me, which, yeah, when the money ran out, you found out who your friends really were, because there was a few that stayed and the rest just fucked off because the money had stopped. But there we go, lesson learned, you know. It was one of those things I had to learn for myself. But yeah, I've never had lots of money. I suppose it's bothered me when I've been sat in the dark with no electric and no food, but other than that, no, it's not something that my world revolves around. I can make do with what I've got, you know. I'm very resourceful, even just fixing things, you know, for myself, you know, making things work at home, you know. I don't have a partner or anything like that, so if a fuse goes or a light bulb goes or something breaks, I've got to fix it myself. But yeah, I've learnt over the years how to do a lot of things, just due to not having the money and having to be resourceful and adapt. But as a society, we're not adapting, we're going backwards. We're being stopped our teaching and learning's been taken away from us. How to survive. We think survival is a 9 to 5 job, you know, with a good pay. No, survival's about looking after yourself. It's about knowing how to, you know, if something went wrong, you know, how do you look after yourself through the winter when there's no electric, no gas, you know, how do you feed yourself when you've got nothing to cook on, you know, when your gas and your electric's gone, how do you eat, you know, it's you make yourself a little fire, don't you, a little campfire, and, you know, how many kids and people know how to do that these days? I don't think there's many, really. You know, how many people know how to go out and forage for mushrooms and other tasty things, you know, that your body needs and likes and has evolved to digest. We're forced to go to supermarkets, you know, Iceland and things like that, pre-made, frozen crap, processed, full of additives, preservatives and sugar, you know, and we're wondering why we all have problems, ill health and obesity and things like that, and people on the breadline that don't know how to survive. Yeah, anyway, my memory's just about to run out, so I shall stop this. Thank you very much for everybody. You're all amazing, and thank you. Bye bye.